Hi, and welcome to the Planet Driven Brands podcast. In this show, we will be discussing with our guests how brands they represent can help in the drive to build a better, more sustainable and safer planet. We will highlight brands as drivers for change and the role they play as influencers. How will brands positively impact the planet and its environment? This is what we're going to find out. Do brands actually have any responsibility to change? The Planet Driven Brands podcast, episode 30. Today's guest is Andy Cording, Marketing Director of the Hexcite Group. Today, we're going to be talking about sustainability in the retail experience. Hi Andy, nice to meet you. Good to see you again. Can you just give us a short introduction, please?
Yeah, hi there. My name's Andy Cording. I'm the Brand and Marketing Director for the Hexcite Group of companies. Hexcite Group has been born out of a private equity takeover of some businesses in the retail, hospitality and property sectors. And we're trying to bind all of those organisations together to be able to deliver a more concise solution to all of our clients.
I just want to start with brands and businesses and their responsibility to the planet. Where do you and Hexcite Group stand on that?
We're massively influenced by our clients and consumers. You and I, when we're not at work, going to the shops, getting our weekly groceries or buying a treat for our partners or our children or what have you. And we all know within our organisation that we want to leave the planet in a better place than we were born into it. And there's no denying that sustainability has just gone straight up the agenda for so many of our clients. COVID has clearly made or created an environment for that to happen. Yeah. And so, we would be daft not to respond to that, on behalf of our clients. So our feeling is if there's pressure from customers and consumers to be as sustainable as possible, then we need to respond to it on behalf of our clients. Because if we're not doing it, then frankly, nothing's going to happen. We are the people that are delivering the solutions into stores, and we've got the ability to be change makers in that respect. Many of our clients are coming to us saying, look, sustainability is really high on our agenda. We're responding as best we can.
No, I was going to say, can you give me some specific, how does it manifest itself?
Most of them are around the physical attributes you can see within a store environment. So where is that metal sourced from? What do you do with it at end of life? That wood you're using, is it FSC? Is it sustainably sourced, etc.? Print. I was chatting to gardeners the other day, and they're, we're talking about printing some brochures for our sustainability event, and we're agonising over whether to print anything on paper or not. And just going, it's all right, guys. This is forests are planted for paper. It's okay. So just because you think instinctively you shouldn't, actually, as long as you're sourcing from the right environment and the right putting the right practices in place to source those materials, then actually it's okay.
Have you actively sought out solutions for them and suggested to clients that maybe they should be looking at these aspects?
Yeah, well, so your call was really timely because we're actually launching our Target 2025 sustainable mission. And so in all truth, as an organisation, as separate entities, as separate businesses within our group, we've actually been doing sustainable for quite a long time, just never really crowed about it. And it's been on the agenda for so many clients for such a long time. It just seems to really come to the fore right now. So if you take gardeners, as I mentioned earlier, for instance, they have a wonderful substrate called reactive air. Okay, and it's effectively a building wrap, huge piece of material that you can put over buildings, and it's coated in a substance that actively takes smog out of the air and cleans the air around it. You can use that as a communication point to leverage goodwill that we're managing to extract a certain amount of smog and dangerous NO2 from the air that you're breathing. Here at Kessler's, we're dreaming up a floor standing unit which we sell it to the health and beauty brands. And if you take, for example, a promotional unit that literally just comes out like a Christmas tree once a year for Christmas to sell some perfume or what have you, and then it just goes into a bin out the back of the store, and that's not good enough. So we've developed a system that means that you can have a single unit that can be used time and time and time again. It is made out of metal, but not harmful plastics, but you can overclad, and it is so simple, and you could effectively pack it down into a hippo bag and send all the kit back to us. We either store it, replenish it, reclad it, clean it up, send it back out to store again.
Jumping into retail itself, how much has the landscape changed? Is it changing enough? We're taking small steps. Should those steps be quicker?
There's no doubt that the changes that we make should be quicker. But actually, if you look at it, there is a plan in place for many of the brands and retailers to make sustainability happen. And it does take time. In all truth, we've all probably been guilty of paying lip service to this 20 years ago. But yeah, there's a massive enthusiasm for it. But it's just going to take a few hard yards and a bit of grunt to get it over the line. Also, one has to remember that retailers are simply so tight on margin, on profit margin. Things are moving so fast for them constantly, as you know from your experience. Promos come and go like loose change. They're just constantly on, and to stop everything and put a new system in place takes a huge amount of effort. So I think it will take a really brave retailer, and I mean a large scale retailer, to really set the new standard. You've got people like Lush and other sort of smaller scale retailers who have always been doing it well, and they know their responsibility, and they know that their customers it's really important to their customers.
I think consumers slowly but surely are expecting their brands and their suppliers to do this for them. Yeah,
in the majority, there'll be that 60% that go, it's really, really important. And why wouldn't it be? Also, they probably don't have to do anything for it. But if it starts costing them another £10 a week in their shopping, then they might think differently about it.
You talked about the group. Tell me about how you pull the group together.
There's multiple benefits from being part of the group, and there's multiple benefits for our clients. So as a collective, we can pool our resources, knowledge and expertise to ensure that we are more sustainable, and we can learn from one another. Some of the Kessler's is over 120 years old, so these guys have been doing it a long time. So that's one of the benefits. Also, what we're finding, generally speaking, is that for a certain type or size of client, that we hit the sweet spot for them. For some retailers, coming to us as a one-stop solution or one point of contact where we can manage the whole process for them and ensure that because we're managing everything from the lighting of the signage at the front of the building through to the print of something on a back wall within the store, we can manage the sustainable details of every element that we touch and that we manage on behalf of our clients.
In your opinion, what does my retail space look like in 5 years' time?
In essence, it probably won't look spectacularly different. The substrates that we'll be using, the materials that we'll be using, the way that we're creating and building things will have changed seismically. That's our ambition. And 2025 is our goal for delivering a more sustainable solution across all of our group companies. So in my mind, it won't look massively different. People still be banging on about how the digital revolution still needs to happen, and that we will need to be sustainable. We certainly aren't going to be perfect in 5 years' time. It will come down to the materials, the processes, and the way that we produce solutions will be the main difference in my mind. Part of it, Nick, I think, is also the way that it's communicated. I spoke about Lush earlier. They communicate so well for their audience. The niche, the sweet spot. But when you're talking about a mass retailer like a Boots or a Tesco, Primark even, they've got so many messages to talk about, and actually got to create space within our retail environments to tell the sustainability story as accurately as possible in a way that is relevant and exciting to consumers. Because you're right, your research colleagues that you've spoken with in the past know that shoppers want this. We've got to tell people that are doing it. We can't keep it hidden. We've got to keep banging on about it.
That's interesting, because when you've got messages whereby you're selling to consumers, surely by the way, we've done this sustainably almost disappears.
Well, a chair's a chair, right? But we're talking to a retailer, talking about their back of house. I mean, how good is this? They're going to invest significant money in their back of house for their staff to create lounges, kitchens, staff areas that are more sustainable. It's still going to be a kitchen. It's not going to look any different. It's still going to be a chair. But our point of difference to them is, well, let's put something on the back of that chair that says, I'm made of bamboo, or I'm made of sustainable plastic, or what have you, so that the story is told.
And that's a really good way to end. The story is told.
Great.
Andy, thank you so much. That was really, really interesting. Thanks very much for coming on our show.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. It's great to see you. And thanks for giving us the opportunity to chat about it. It's brilliant.
Absolute pleasure. Brilliant. Thanks so much. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. The Planet Driven Brands podcast is the brainchild and copyright of Nick Jones and is broadcast in partnership with theplanetsagency.com. Planets Agency is a partnership of consultants and communications experts who build planet-driven brands. During the series of shows, we'll be hearing from more experts, and we would love for you to be involved. Please do comment or come back to us with questions. We'll be happy to engage. If you wish to be notified when our episodes are broadcast, please subscribe on the website. If you'd like to be part of the show, we'd love to hear from you. We look forward to many more entertaining episodes. Thanks again for listening.